Hello and welcome to Aircart Farms. We're back with another episode of the Minnesota Millennial Farmer Map by Mapper's Paradise. And today we have advanced into late spring, and so we've got just a little bit of field work left. If we pop open the map here, I've got grass growth turned on. You can see that we're at the first stage of growth available here for field 1. We're going to try and fertilize this field one more time before we cut it. So I'm going to see if that's going to work even though it's in a harvest state. Probably won't. And then we've got this field over here that we want to get planted. Now we've got a surprise from the dealer coming. We got rid of the big seeder that we had. It was just a little bit too big for our farm. It was a great demo. And so the dealer stopped by a little bit ago and took our 8R and ran up to the dealer. He's going to deliver some equipment over to that other field for us. So I'll be curious to see what he's got for us when we get over there. However, in the meantime, we need to get this planter refilled. And then as long as we're here in the yard, we're going to wash it off. And so let's get this turned around and fill up the back of this planter. I just heard the truck start. I just play a second time. That's a little confusing. Whoa, there we go. Hey, we actually got it in the hole for once. And once we get this filled up, we're just going to spray it off real quick and we'll drive this over to the other farm and get started. It's a nice early morning. I want to get well, actually, before we head over to the other farm, maybe we should test out the spraying on this grass field, because that's going to take all of 5 minutes if it actually works. And if it doesn't work, we may bring some mowing equipment back today and start mowing that field. So either way, we really would like to know. So let's get the shed door open and bring the sprayer on out here. And Perma's Modding has just sent me the fix for these cylinder arms here on the back of the sprayer. I haven't had a chance to put that fix into place yet, but he does have a fix for that, and I will get that done before we hit the rest of our spraying this year, I think. And so let's take this all the way down by the edge of the road. I think that's going to be a good place to start. This field is not very big, and we're almost out of spray, so this might be just a quick let's test and see if it works run. And I'm not thinking this is working. It is not working. So let's go ahead and save the rest of our spray here. Just double check one more time. Definitely not working. I don't know, those tire tracks are from me driving something into this grass or something. I don't know. So that's unfortunate. We forgot about the fertilizer on the grass before we wrapped things up yesterday. But, oh well, it's just grass, and honestly, I don't think we're going to need that much to keep our cows going. But we'll see. We've got quite a bit of food requirements now compared to the previous year. We did add a lot of cows, so we might be surprised. Either way, I want to get this sprayed off before we head over to the other farm, because nobody likes dirty equipment. Let's close the seed tanks up before we get water everywhere, though. All right. And so it's been 25 episodes since we started this series, plus a few tutorials and one-off videos, so really more than 25. But this is the 25th numbered episode in this series, which is Not my longest series by any stretch, but definitely quite a few episodes on one map. I tend to lose my attention span after, 10 videos or so. And so, I think this is quite the milestone. I forgot to look when I logged in how many hours I've actually logged on this map, but it's been quite a few. Because to make a given episode, while an episode may only be 20 to 30 minutes long, often I spend an hour or more in-game doing different things, and especially if there's a time lapse. Most of my time lapses are either 4 or 8x, and so, a lot of time can pass. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this guy up to use auto drive to take him over to the other farm, freeing us up to jump over there and take care of our animals. Now, it does look like our auto drive delivery from the dealer got a little bit hung up on the fence here. And so let me back this out, and then we'll take a look at this piece of equipment here. And so we tried a John Deere air drill, air seeder like this a few episodes ago in the series, but that was a little bit different model. It was a bigger air seeder, and so this one is smaller. However, it's got the seed cart here in the middle, the air tanks, and it's a little bit harder for me to maneuver. I'm going to be really curious to see how this does out in the farm or out in the field itself. But the drill itself is significantly smaller, and so the theory is that I'm going to, run over this guy. Look out, buddy. We're coming through with big equipment here. The theory is that we're going to be able to pull this with our 8R size tractors, and so if this works out, we may get a second one about this size and be able to pull 2 of them in the big field. Because what I don't like is when you're in a smaller field like this, you really just, you don't want to have such massive equipment out in the field. Now, it's going to be a lot harder to use these in these smaller fields like that, with the seeder all the way on the back behind the cart. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work. Now, I'm just running back up here to the farm because we do need to take care of our animals real quick. And I thought we might as well do that while we're waiting for the other tractor to get up here. And so we're down to one last hay bale. And so, luckily, it's going to be getting, the grass is growing out in the field, I believe. And so they're going to be able to start eating the grass that's actually out in the pasture to keep them fed for the summer here. It's not as good as hay or silage would be, and definitely not as good as the TMR would be. But it's going to let us kind of sneak through having to feed them here over a small period of time. Get off my forks. There we go. And that's going to give us just enough time to get some silage and some hay going. I think we are going to have to put up a silo here somewhere for the hay, just to hold on to that so that we'll have some when we want to go make TMR, because we're also going to need somewhere to store our straw as well. So I'm probably going to get some harvestor silos to put up here somewhere on the farm to help us out as we get into feeding. And so if I just open this up, yeah, we've got the food is almost full. We've got the water almost full. There's a good amount of grass. Actually, I'm wondering if this grass fill came from when I was trying to mow up there, because there's some odd things with the way the field works. That grass had to go somewhere, and I'm wondering if it just went into the animal pens here. But we're not sure. Either way, we're just gonna make some silage here and hopefully see that these bunks are working. I've had a couple of viewers report that the bunks are not working correctly for them on this farm, so we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna park this here, and I'm curious to see where our other tractor is. He's right here. So if we just take back over from him. Oops, what happened here? Why is your door open again? I thought I'd fix this. Okay, this door open issue happens in some way because of auto drive, I think. I'm not positive. So if I close it and then hop out while it's closed, that was working last time. Nope. Alright. Are you gonna stay closed now? There's some lights on in there. I don't know how I'm adjusting the different settings. Something's up with this. How do I turn off the lights? Well, that's unfortunate. Because now my door is going to be open the whole time. And it's going to drive me nuts. Absolutely nuts. Either way, door issues aside, I'm looking forward to getting some grass and some corn into this other field. We're going to go ahead and take this straight down here. And we've been talking to one of the neighbors about borrowing their silage harvester just to help us get started here with some silage. And so I've got a really cool silage harvester lined up here to help us hit the corn that we're going to put into this field. And so my current thinking is that we're going to do corn. I was thinking about doing corn all the way down this long spot here as well, but maybe I'm gonna start it down on the end and we'll do all of this grass just because I think we're gonna want to start with some more grass. And so this whole area here we're gonna put grass in all the way down to the end and plant corn starting. Should I start about here? We're just gonna go all the way down. So I'm going to need to use a little bit of GPS here to make sure that we're getting some nice straight lines here. I think this fence line is fairly straight, so let's go ahead and get this planter opened up. And get our GPS monitors all set up. And we're gonna put it right here along this edge of the field. There we go. Got corn selected.
We lost our minds in the darkness of night. We live to die. We lose our souls every day. We lost our minds. We don't remember what's wrong and what's right. What's right. The world is dead, but we stay. 'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die. We live to die. And we're surrounded by the night. We live to die. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon. We are
Alright, so this is gonna wrap up our corn, and I'm still debating here. Oh, we drove just a little bit into that guy's field. If I should also plant this section right here as corn, or yeah, I think I will, because I don't need that much hay. I need more silage. So we'll do that. We're gonna plant all the up and down part here as corn silage as well. And then we'll put grass in this little section down there. Now what I'm trying to decide is if I'm gonna stop when the field starts widening out here again, and plant all of that end as grass, or if I think, because I've got the field up next to the house as grass already, between that and this, if I'll be good. I think we're gonna double up on the silage just to get it going. So I'm gonna take this all the way to the end and back up for corn silage. And then we'll do the rest as grass. I think that's what we're gonna do. So I think what I'm gonna do here, just to make my life a little bit easier with the grass, is square this off right about here and put corn in for this little bit right here, just because I won't be able to get that big cedar back into that little spot. And so if I do that, that should, it's not exactly square, but that should allow me to get the grass in without too much struggle. And if we have a little tiny spot that's not planted, it won't be the end of the world. So let's go ahead and bring this back up to the headland here and get it folded up and leave it out of the way. And I'm really looking forward to see if we have better luck with this cedar than the other one. The problem we had with the other one is the wings didn't flex, and so we ran into some issues on some of the hillier ground up by the farm. This is not completely flat, but not too hilly, so we shouldn't have any problems. The other problem we're gonna have, like I was saying before, is just it's not that it's awkward. Well, it's awkward for me. It's just a different style cedar than I'm used to. I'm not used to having the cedar all the way back, the drill part all the way back behind the tank. It's hard to see back there, and I don't think it's going to work for this finer tuning that we're trying to do here. And so let's turn our UI back on here. And I think I'm going to actually break reality here just a little bit and turn our GPS lines on so that I can see what we're doing. Let's get a track going here. There's a track. There's a width. And then if I move that over just a smidge, I'm gonna be able to get the seeder going down right next to that corn without running it over. So that is the end goal here. These wheels are bouncing pretty good. So let's oversteer a little bit so that as we pull in, we forgot to put seed in it. We forgot to bring some seed up here, so let me see if I can get this backed up without fully jackknifing it. And I'm almost hesitant to see if this is going to work with the what do you call it again? But we're going to bring that down here, and I think worst case I can just dump the seeds out of the truck if it doesn't work. So let's see, where did I leave the seed tender? It's right over here. So we'll get this loaded up and brought over to the other farm here real quick. Alright, we're back up here at the field. We're going to get this 8RX moved up out of the way though, just because I don't want to be driving trying to squeeze in between the two of them while I'm trying to load this thing up. I'm not yet convinced this is going to work, but it's worth a shot. Drive over our corn a little bit here. If this doesn't work, I'm going to try and put it on the other side and put it into the tank directly. I'm not sure that'll work either, but this does not appear to be finding a spot. I just want to get a little bit farther away from it though. How am I going to do that? Let me just back up a ways here. And the other option is we just empty the seeds out and load them in by hand. That would not necessarily be preferable, but also I guess I don't know if I'm trying to load seed or fertilizer in the air tank right now, or if it matters. Let's zoom in here a little bit, see if this is going to work for us. Okay. I don't know if this would even work in a normal situation. That's not going to go in. That's not going to go in. Let me look at this and see if I can tell what I'm supposed to be filling right now. So that's definitely not working. Let's just drive this back around one last time and see if this would go into the auger. I think I know how to fix this in a mod. Like, I think that the dump trigger, or whatever you call it, for this auger just needs to be a little bit lower. Like, it should go all the way to the ground, and I'm guessing it just comes out of the snout a little ways. Because when I was on the farm, we used to just have a longer piece of that black corrugated pipe that you see there on the end of the auger, so that you could fill planter boxes up on the back of a planter individually. So what we're going to do here is cheat. So let's see if I can empty this. I should be able to push. I can't push I to empty it. Oh, you're killing me, trailer. Nope. This trailer is gonna be the death of me. Alright, if I'm here, I'm just looking to see if this is gonna let me empty. Nope. So we can't actually get our seed out of this thing. I wonder if I can get it out of this thing. We can. So we're going to do that. And we're going to come here. And we're going to slide this back out of the way. We're going to put these right back in the planter. So maybe I should just leave them there. And then we're going to take this seed. We're going to carry this right over here. And we're not going to worry about fertilizer. We're just going to fill this thing up with a couple pallets of seed and call it good. Come on, seed. There's one. And then I'm going to take this one as well because I'm not sure one is enough. And yes, I have super strength enabled to be able to do this. It just makes some of the things a little bit easier on the farm. Being able to move pallets and stuff around. Oh, did we fill it? No, I'm just getting off of the fill trigger. The fill trigger is a little bit sensitive there. All right. So now I've got some seed. I'm going to set this to grass. We're going to put the auger back in. We're going to turn this thing back on. And away we go. Let's see how well this works now. And so this is all just me trying to use the auger wagon or the seed tender here and having problems with it, which is more of a problem with me and the seed tender than any of the mods that I'm using here. Like, I don't think that's really something that we can blame on the seeder here at all. The seeders are working as intended. And so I just need to rethink if the seed tender is the right mod for us, or if I need to make some modifications to it to get it to work how I want it to work. But either way, we're seeding away. Whoa, I turned way too tight. And so I think what I'm going to do is plant a headland here, just so that I've got some room to turn around for these other rows. And that's going to give us an opportunity to try and hit this fence, do some manual driving. It's a little disorienting having the seeder be so far behind us, but I'm adapting, I say, as I worry about crashing into this fence. And the good news is our GPS track is going to line up perfectly here, so in the future, I also know that these implements complement each other nicely from a size perspective, at least in this field. And I should have been turning. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. We're going to come down since we've got a grass headland here. And just use the GPS track to come back in, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll turn and do one more headland pass up there, because otherwise I don't think I'm quite going to be able to turn around with the way that fence is. Maybe if I was coming from the short ends, driving up and then turning back in, but either way, we've got plenty of seed. It's grass seed, not costing us a whole lot here. And all of our cows appear to be frozen in place in this yard. Oh, they're kind of jumping around. It's a little odd. They don't graze and walk. Oh, that's probably just my graphics settings. They weren't loading in yet because I wasn't close enough. Oh, I said I was going to do another headland pass, didn't I? Go into top-down mode here. There we go. So this is all coming together. I could get used to this. And a couple of these would plant that big field of ours at about the same rate as the bigger cedar, I think. Because it goes just a little bit faster. These plant at like 14, 15, maybe 14. Garage. Work speed 15 miles an hour. And so that's going to allow us to, whoops, running over that guy. So 14, 15 miles an hour is pretty good speed. I think that big one was only planting at about 11. So we pick up some speed, and the two aren't as wide as the big one, but it gives us some more flexibility, gets some more use out of our equipment, so we don't need a dedicated piece of equipment just to pull the big seeder. We've got these 8Rs that we can use to do quite a bit of equipment, or quite a few different jobs on the farm. And then I think the other thing that I'm thinking is might justify picking up an 8RT to add into our fleet. It'd be nice to just have all three of the 8R series tractors, since we've got them in the mod pack, just to try them all out. So that's my thought, is if I decide to go with the seeder, I will pick up another 8R, and that'll be a lot of fun. I think we only need one of these seeders, though, now that I'm thinking about it, to do grass and stuff. And there might be something smaller or different that we'll get for grass. This is a nice seeder, but now that I'm thinking about it, the DB60 plants the soybeans that we need to plant on the big field. So I'd rather get a second DB60 so I could do, two of those for the corner soybeans that we're trying to put in, because I'll never run grass on that big field back behind the house. So this is more of just an experiment. I almost want something smaller or that direct attaches to the tractor for putting grass in on the fields that we need it. I'm trying to think, in the grand scheme of things, if I would just always run grass on the same field, or if I'd rotate it a little bit. I'm not sure what I would rotate in with this corn that we're doing for silage here. I think it depends on how many animals we get. I might decide to just turn this all into grass at some point. This would be a great field for grass for baling, nice long narrow stretch there. So we just need to get some silage going to start with. Maybe once we pick up some more land, we would do corn silage over here and leave this all as grass. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But either way, this is kind of a messy job. I missed a couple of spots here and there, but that's okay. We will let this be for now and get this all put up. Why is the auger out here? Nobody knows. And so with that, we had a few problems here and there, mostly with me being incompetent with some of the mods that we're using. So I will figure out what I want to do about the seed tender business here soon, before next planting season, because I think this is putting an end to our planting. Once we cut this, I'll be able to plant it again. And so if I look at the seasons map, I've got some time to put some more corn in. And so I think what we'll do is give that another day or so and see if it progresses to the next harvest state. And either way, next episode is going to be, let me just jump over there, is going to be us cutting this grass and turning it into silage and hay, depending on the calculations on what I think the cows are going to need here in the short term. And so that's that's the plan, is to finally get into cutting this grass, get it off the field, and hopefully turn this into a cornfield here before we get too far in the year. That'll also give us some different fields ready at different points in the year, since we did kind of do all of our planting in the same chunk of the season here. As we get more and more fields, we'll have those span a few different days, just naturally with the way the gameplay goes. So that's all for today. Kedrick, out.